Yeah, how are you? Can you
I'm
would you mind telling me how you are, introducing yourself? That would be really, really good.
yeah, actually, my name is Nassoro Mkwesso. I'm the director of KCC, Kigamboni Community Center, and then I'm like activist for the climate change and climate justice. I've been working in this part of with the young people towards the climate change many years. I am very good partner with Kinderkulturgravana from Germany and other organization around Europe somewhere, and to work against climate change, children rights, and migration and human rights, all those kind of stuff. Yeah, but I'm Tanzanian and I'm based in Tanzania. Yeah,
Yeah, so you just said you're the founder, if I'm not wrong, you're the founder of the Kigamboni Community Center in Tanzania for
exactly.
young.
Yes, in
Okay,
Tanzania.
so it's
Yeah.
with who do you really work with? Do you work more with children, or do you work with young people, or do you work with the community in general? Who are your clientele, or who are the people who visit Kigamboni?
Yeah, actually, I'm working with the community based in Kigamboni, children, young people, adults, depending on the issues and the projects. I work with children, for example, we have homeless children shelter where the children are sleeping there, going to school and getting basic needs. But also we have a talent development program which we are working with all local schools in Kigamboni. Just a few months ago, like 1 or 2 months ago, we had a bigger project with 24 local schools. We are involving to our project, which funded by City of Hamburg. We were, yeah,
Sorry, we had a little bit of problem with the internet there. I didn't get you all right, but yeah. So you definitely working with community and different organization and working on different projects. So our talk today is generally more or less about climate change. I'm gonna introduce myself also so that you know who exactly you're speaking to. We don't want to
yeah,
be so distant.
yeah.
I go by the
Please,
name of
yes.
Lavender. Lavender.
Yeah, lavender.
Um, Lavender.
Uh-huh.
Lavender Kainyu.
Lavender, yeah.
I originally come from Kenya,
Uh-huh.
so your neighboring country
Mm-hmm.
down there. I
Of
am
course.
studying and living and working in Germany, and at the moment we are working, part-time worker here at these children, or rather youngster. Uh, it's quite similar to Kigamboni, but it's it's a place for young children, or just youngsters to come and maybe do some free activities or different projects. It's quite similar actually to what you're having there in Tanzania. But our topic today is more or less about climate change. So since this is an issue that is at the moment very near to all of us, you are feeling it,
Yeah,
we're feeling
yeah,
it, everybody's dealing with climate change. So our
of
interviews,
course.
yeah, it's going to be about that. And I think my first question would rather be, because you said you are working with the community, how would you say you're experiencing the whole global climate change personally, in the community, and also as a region? How would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I see, climate change is a bigger problem, and we as KCC try a lot to show to the community how they can try at least to go against it and try to improve their life considering the climate change. We have been working, as I told you, with Kinderkulturgravana for many years. We were touring in Germany, in many schools in Europe to address the issue of climate change. We do project, but KCC, we are working on those climate change, especially me myself, but more into artistic way to try to to create like a theme
Awareness.
of performance, trees
Okay.
awareness. Yeah, this is most of the part that we do. We don't do much. I can really plant the trees or whatever. We do more educational parts. Yeah, but we are working with other organizations in Dar es Salaam, in Tanzania, who go straight to the community and like planting or cleaning. We do, because for example, our community center is not far from the beach, from the beach area. So we're doing always, we do this beach cleanup with many organizations together. Yeah, so this is how we try to act against climate change. But normally we create a performance theater with a theme of climate change. Then we address it to the community and schools and the public area.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you're creating awareness, educational awareness, bringing the community more to the fact that there is climate change and there's something that should be done about climate change in form of art. What are the most recent, or rather, what are the discussions you hear after such a performance from the community? What are their immediate effect? What do they say about it? Can they really associate? Can they connect with the idea that there's climate change, or is it something so distant from them they don't even know what exactly it is? What are the comments, or what's the feedback you get from the community and the children when you interact with them after that?
Yeah. I mean, most of the community around, they had no idea about climate change.
Okay.
And when you tell them what it is, like why is the problem to throw garbage around, for example, or cutting down the trees, they're always not aware with this. For example, if they use firewood for cooking, and if you tell them they should not cut their trees to use the gas, which they have no money to buy the gas cooker, it's difficult for them. So that's why we try to deal more into education before bringing into practical, because first we want that to stick in their mind. So what the feedback comes to the community, they always say, we know it can be dangerous, but it's not going to affect us now, maybe after many years, and we already died. And when we try to keep to say to them, we are talking about sustainability. Your grandchildren and grandchildren that will be in this world when you passed away. So you need to create better world for them, not only for you. Imagine if your grandparents would not create what you live in now, how would you survive? So we try to convince them. I mean, it works. For example, most of the children in schools, it's a very good example, because now we have 24 schools, as I told you, that we're working with. The kids, they never threw the garbage on the floor. They always put it in the right way. So
Okay.
this is like first step that we did, at least the kids,
Okay. So
because we
sorry.
thought for us it's very important to teach children in young age. Yeah? The adults already addicted with this, for example, environmental thing, climate change things. So good to create a new world from the children who can adapt this climate change situation before they become older. Then they can teach their children, and the generation can understand this. And after a few years,
Okay.
yeah.
So according to what you said, your spectrum is varied. When it's the older generation, they still don't really necessarily have the sense, or rather the association of climate change to their doings. But the younger generation, according to what you just said, when you teach them and tell them this littering might cause maybe pollution, then they understand, they have a near effect, according to what you said. Did I get it right? Okay. And since it's working, and I presume with your acrobatic events and with your art, I believe your immediate audience is definitely the young generation. And it's good that the younger generation now really realize what the problems are, and they're trying in their own way to save it or to have a solution. But what would you say, or how are you working in the deeper community? How are you getting for more awareness in the deeper community? As you say, I totally understand with a sense of charcoal cooking. Of course, that's something you have to have the money to buy
Yeah,
gas for you not to
yeah.
to use charcoal. But what other projects or what other ways are you guys dealing with the older generation or the community which doesn't really understand? How are you going about it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, what we're trying to do then, after the community go against the idea, we say to them, okay, you can cut the trees, but you have to plant at least 2 trees or a month or 3 trees. Then you have more trees in the future instead of cutting everything. Yeah, but also the infrastructure is so horrible here in Tanzania, especially because this. I'm living in a bigger city in Dar es Salaam, and Dar es Salaam is growing very fast. Yeah? So many people who have money, they buy like big forests and they cut everything. They construct the bigger house, factories, and all these things. So for us, this is a little bit difficult to adapt the, the climate situation because you have no money to stop them because they are so rich, they can do whatever they want. And the government institution also is very not easy to understand the idea of climate change, especially local government. The central government, they do understand, but now the central government give more authority to local government to decide from their own perspective. This also make more difficult for the community to get more awareness. So luckily now we have, I think next week or end of this month, we are going to sign a MOU together with the local government authority, municipal level, that we can put on our projects towards the climate change and human rights and children's rights. So this could be helping a lot because now we can sit together with them, make negotiating, and bring up the projects that can work towards the climate change and all the other special matters for future generation. Yeah.
So, if I'm right, according to what you said or what I heard about it, it's there's a lot of injustice
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
regards of climate change. There are those people who want to do something about it, but then there are those other people who I would say have the power to do something
Yeah. Yeah.
about it, but somehow are still reluctant to do something about it. So,
Yeah.
how how do you feel in regards of climate justice? Tanzania is a developing country. We do know
Yeah.
from statistics that the main cause or the major cause of this global climate change is definitely is more industrialized countries.
Yeah.
How do you regard this sense of injustice, of climate injustice, or what does climate justice, what is it for you? What when I say climate justice, what does it tell you? What is it? How do you understand it for you, and as personally as a founder of an organization?
Yeah. I mean, actually, for me, climate justice is. I tell you, one day it's going to be like pandemic. Yeah. We don't know when, but it's really horrible. For me, what I understand is it's a dangerous thing that we all have to take a step for this. Yeah? Otherwise, we have big problem in the future for our generation and for ourselves, whatever. For me, the most important that I don't know is like globalization is a big problem. Many people or big company, big organization, even in Europe, the way they run the world is so horrible to create all these plastic things, for example. Former time, just go with at the shop with your, I don't know, basket or whatever. You put everything, but now you have to get a plastic bag every single shop. So those are the things. So industrializing, or I don't know how you call it. Yeah, make all these problems. So I don't know. I try, as you said, as a founder of organization, I try to do my best. Yeah, that is what I can create. But another problem, I think this all this funding organization, yeah, they give so much money for fighting against climate change. But I think, from my point of view, they give to wrong organization. The many organizations get so much money to do something for climate change, but they never do it. They only just get money and nothing happening. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, for example, like 2016, I wrote application to some organization. I wanted to create like school clubs for small children where they have a nursery for planting trees, for example, and they have a bigger place for separate the garbage, where they can know exactly where I should put, where, like Europe, where I should put plastic, where I should put paper, where I should put less from the food. This is what I wanted to do because I mean, my wife, she's from Germany. I also live in Germany sometimes. So I wanted to do this for Tanzania, for example, but I was really struggled to get the money for this. At the end, I didn't get money for this. But it's good initiative because it's good for children. Because I was saying to the children, I mean to my proposal, that every family who going to plant 2 trees, I will offer them 1 year insurance for the family insurance, so they can use like card to go to hospital for free.
Okay.
So this was my idea. So when the children and their families, they will plant 2 trees or 5 trees, which will be growing, they get like an award for getting insurance card where they can be treated for free in a local hospital. So this could be very good motivation for the community. So this, you bring education to the community. So everyone later will understand, okay, I have to take care for the tree, I have to take care for the garbage and all these things, because you already motivate them. Because the community need to be boosted, need to be motivated. So you come up with all the good ideas, but the sponsor, they need a good written proposal to give money. They don't give money if you don't write a good proposal. But your ideas can also, they should appreciate your idea to give money for this.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty good incentive, actually, because I do know in Africa that public health is not accessible to everyone. It is something that
Exactly.
the middle class or the upper class, they can't afford that, luckily, and it's not affordable for them, for the people who are not working. The struggling workers in the community. Healthcare is a luxury equipment, and such an idea, definitely, I agree with you, should be applauded and supported in every kind of way. And yeah, there's also this injustice in globalization. But I also hear, all countries, you said you live in Germany once in a while. I believe you would love that Tanzania also is similar to Germany, and that's the goal of most of the of the of the of the the developed countries. They all want to be industrialized countries. They also are striving for industrialization, but the road to industrialization is not easy. The road to industrialization is all well, if we look back, for example, at Europe and China, for them to be where they are right now, a lot of industrialization happened. A lot of companies were built, and that is why at the moment we are facing a global climate change. So a lot of pollution was caused in the process of getting to become an industrialized country. So countries in Africa who are striving that goal, because they also want to be the same. They also want to be industrialized. So in one sense, they do not understand when other countries tell them to reduce their pollution, because I think, or I assume, they take it that these countries don't want them to become industrialized like they are. Because for them to be industrialized, they need a lot of companies. They also need to pollute the world in one way or another, which at the end of the day is not good. So do you think this is fair in general, for you personally, for the region? How fair?
It's not fair.
So it's not fair in any sense. But on the other hand, I know, but on the other hand, we also want to live in a clean country, in a clean world where we have fresh air,
Yeah.
fresh food, fresh water. We also don't want to have our grandchildren, our children suffering from polluted air. It's also not fair for them.
Yeah.
So what happens? So
Abso-
Tanzania, Africa becomes also industrialized, which would be good, but then it's become a polluted. So what's the best choice? How do you judge that? Or how do you weigh that on a weighing scale? How fair is what is fair for you? What would you prefer?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, as you said, is not fair for if you think in the future. Yeah. But as I mean, because if the Germans telling us you should really take care industrial situation, you should not create more pollution, but they do for the politician in Africa, especially, yeah, because they know that we get all clothes from Germany or from China, we got all the material from China, like tiles and stuff. Why we should not do our own to instead of input from other countries? So I don't know because I'm not really good into this industrial thing, but I think they should be find a way to create industries without creating more pollution or something. Or I don't know how they should do. Probably there should be a way to have a factory, but the factory which cannot create more like smoke or this air pollution or make something natural, which is not cannot affect the human being. I know the scientific, they know how to do it, but they just don't want to import this way. Maybe it's hard or it's a long way to do it. That's why they don't want to waste more time or whatever. I don't know, but there should be a way to do this in a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, from the capitalistic point of view, uh, the goal of a capitalist is to make money and make profit, regardless of whatever situation
Yes.
the goal is to make profit. For us to
Yeah.
go over, as you said before, the way to would be to go for more renewable ways and more pollutant less products, which would mean producing the products maybe at home or somewhere near you, not transporting, for example, fruits from across regions, but uh, that would interfere
Yeah.
maybe with a certain living system, a certain way of life for others, which according to them maybe would not be fair for them. So
Mhm.
it's a big um,
Big challenge, very difficult. Yeah.
yeah, it's a big chance, but I am sure there are organizations who are trying as much as possible to go organic, for example, to support their
Yeah.
local
Yeah.
farmers. For example, that might
Yeah.
be a way, I think. Maybe just getting away from the whole mentality of capitalism, which is
Yes.
more about profit. It's more profit oriented.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, for me, as you said, is if you say, for example, in Dar es Salaam, you have to create your own food, not transporting from other cities. I mean, also in transportation, we could use also sustainable way. For example, electric bicycle, for example, electric train, electrical car, instead of fuel or whatever. We can also do like this. Then we can also still transport the material or something to go to other countries, but without destroy the air or something. So, I mean, I'm still thinking or sure there are ways to go against this, but the people hold those positions, they don't want to do it.
So
Yeah,
you think it's more people in higher positions who are more on the
exactly.
losing
Of
side,
course.
that they don't want to really do something to achieve uh, the 50% gas as a greenhouse gas emission, which is the goal for
Yes,
all of us
of
globally. So
course.
you actually, according to you, it's more the big companies.
It's more big companies and political ways. Yeah.
Um, there is a law, or rather, in the World Organization, it's a polluter pays principle, whereby it says that countries carrying the main responsibility for global warming should be actually in charge of the consequences and damages of climate change. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this also it's difficult because I tell you, for example, this issue of corona, pandemic corona, it's WHO, they're responsible for all health thing in the world, yeah. But it's strange because they have been driven with the big company, big organization, bigger countries. They made decision through those bigger countries or big organization. So it's the same. Even this global issue thing, the climate, the ones the organization which are responsible, they always decide for best interest of these bigger countries or bigger industry. That's the problem. We
Okay.
put we put leaders in our countries, but we drive them. We found that there's a big company organization drive them to make decision. They never make decision for the people. They always make decision for the big company or big organization. That's the problem. So we just have picture of president on our wall, but he or she's not the president really. There are president behind her who made him or her to make decision.
So there are organizations are behind to actually make the rules. That's what you see. But
Of
we
course,
are
of course.
okay. So we are aware of so many problems. There is that problem. There is the inequality problem, and there is
Yes.
the capitalistic problem, and then there is the people who still are out there to make profit, and as you say, big companies who do not see the sense of reducing the carbon gas emission, or the greenhouse gas emission. So, what do you think would be the best? I would not say solution, because solution is far fetched, but according to you, what would be the best strategy to tackle and deal with these many problems as we've
I
already
mean,
mentioned?
for me, the best strategy to tackle this is empowering the community in the sense of themselves to make, for example, their own food and their own vegetable, and try to create many things by their own, if possible. Build their own house in the local material, not buying things in a bigger shop, and also try to convince the community and the society to be happy for what they have, to enjoy
Okay.
what they have, what the resources they have, to be fine with it. Because everyone wants to take, for example, to fly, to go to Europe or to America, to whatever. Everyone has this. But if you explain to them, they could understand. For example, me, I have residence permit to live in Germany, but I never stay in Germany for a while. I always in Tanzania. I don't like to live in Europe at all. I go there because I have my children there and I have to go there. Even now,
Okay.
since November, I'm here and I had to go there. My wife, she came here, she left. I have to, but I don't feel it. I'm happy with my surrounding. I have nothing. I have, like, I'm living a normal life. I have even no car. I just enjoy what I have. So I use this slogan to convince also young people around the KCC that they should not really worry about going to Europe or leaving Europe. They have something to do in their own countries.
Yeah, I
They
totally
don't,
understand. Yeah, sorry.
that doesn't need them to go to Europe or to go to America to be rich or to be whatever. They can stay in their countries, they can do their own thing, and everything is fine. Yeah.
And I totally understand you from your perspective, also because I have also been able to experience the life here in Europe. But in a time of globalization, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have TikToks nowadays. Our young generation are looking towards these influencers
Yeah,
in
I
Instagram,
know.
YouTube, in TikTok, and then they look at them and they see them living the good life. You know, I say good
Yeah,
life because I don't know
I know
if
what you
are
mean.
good,
You mean.
but that's their role. Those people become their role models, and so they kind of
Yeah,
are trying to go to get them. So it's a little bit difficult to convince the young generation to be to be satisfied with what they have, you know,
yeah. This
uh,
is my big. This
because
is my big
they see
job.
other, they see the better. You also, there's a saying, the grass is always green on the other side.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the general view.
I know. You're right what you're saying, but this is my biggest job here. That's why I want to stay here. I want to explain to the young people here in Tanzania what is necessary. And I mean, I know if you want to go to Europe, it's fine. You just go there and visit and see friends, whatever. But life is here.
That's very
I
true.
always try to explain to them why even myself, I don't stay there. I'm staying here. I have very good time here, very good life here. I'm enjoying so much here. I
Yeah,
have everything I want.
yeah, we are
I have
nearing the
neighbors.
end.
I can,
We are nearing the end
for example,
of our conversation. I'm sorry,
ah,
Marco. I'm sorry, Nassoro,
okay. No
to
problem.
interrupt you, but I have two
Take your
major
time.
questions before we actually finish. We can
Question.
still talk later. Uh, what would you say
Okay.
are the immediate effects of global warming the people in your country are feeling, like the really immediate effects?
Yeah, it's, here in Tanzania. It's really hot and a lot of flooding when it's raining. So these are the really big affection for
So
the
drought, would you say
flood.
it's
And
nearly drought? And how is the food production at the moment?
we have a lot of food, but all food is I don't know how you say it. It's not natural. They put a lot of medicine. They put injection to
Okay, polluted
all
or
this. Yeah, so it's not really natural nowadays.
toxic. It's more
Yeah.
toxic. Okay. And other than global climate change, do you guys have, are there any other challenges that are affecting the community in Tanzania?
Yeah, as I said, it's too hot here, and also for example now it's rain season. All the rain come to the houses, and people they have to move from their own place where they used to live.
So
So
there's
all
a
these
lot
things.
of drought, flooding, and migration as
Yes,
a
exactly.
result.
Yeah.
Do you have any hopes, or do you think there's any hope for the future?
No, I don't see. I have to be honest.
You don't see?
The world is very, very difficult. People, I mean, the big companies, they don't see this. They have their own interest in make money. That's it. Yeah. I mean, this I always asking myself. I don't know how much people need to live. Someone to have billions of euro, billions, and 10 houses, 20 cars. Are they going to sleep in all those houses? Are they going to drive all those cars? I'm really getting crazy. I can tell you. For me, this is really. I don't see if there will be a changes.
So
I don't know
you
how to say in English, but in Swahili I'm saying watu wanatamaa, wanatamaa, wanapenda vitu vingi at the same time. But you can have one car and one house. It's totally.
okay.
I don't know.
So you're quite pessimistic about
I
the
cannot
future.
say much, but I.
I said you're quite pessimistic about the future. So you think no matter how many changes we're gonna do and campaign about global change, there's really not gonna be any change.
I mean, for example, for me, our former, you heard that Tanzania president died, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Magufuli.
I'm very sure they killed him because he was change maker. He was change maker.
Okay.
So those are the things which cannot change the world. Because if you raise your hands against the way people, the other people, then you got shut down.
Okay.
People, they have so much to say. They have so much to say, but they're afraid. I was wondering, I'm always, if I'm in Europe, people, they say, Africa is really against human rights. They have so much, they are beating the children and all these things. But now see how people suffer in Europe against this, all the rules of Corona. You never see your mom, you never see your family, all those things. They never see this. They only see Africa and Iran, Iraq, people are killing each other. But this is like killing people.
Yeah. So since we are very pessimistic about the future, we just generally gonna hope that something is gonna change somehow, somewhere. And but it was really great having you on the interview. We are really appreciative. Shukran. Shukran.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sparing time. Thank you for giving us some insight about global warming from the African continent. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time. It was nice having you.
Yeah, thanks a lot too, and let's keep in touch. If there's something I can do, I'm very happy. And you're welcome. You're most welcome to Tanzania.
I will
With
definitely
free Corona.
I will definitely.
You don't need mask. You don't need. You don't need lockdown. You will meet anyone you want. Karibu sana.
Shukran, asante. It's probably evening there, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it to your family. But it was nice having the conversation in general. As you say, there's a lot to speak.
Thanks a lot, Marco. Thanks a lot for the technical thing.
Marco.
Thanks a lot. Bye.